Screen Rant audience, I love you. I love you. I love you. Stay true to your heart. Stay true to your mind, and hopefully, as an artist, I tell great stories. The 2030 hasn't arrived yet, so between now and then, I'm hoping to really tell great stories as much as I can as the lead character.
Just watched your movie. I had a
Uh,
great time watching it. Um,
which one? I
do
hope you
justice.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm so glad to see, a Latino as like a, kind of hard boiled, tough guy cop, as opposed to running away from them like we usually are. Um, I know you're Salvador. My mother's Honduras, but my father was overwhelmingly white, which is why I look like this.
Oh, I see.
um, so in the past, you worked with Kellen Lutz on an episode of FBI. Are you two buddies, or was that kind of one of those Hollywood coincidences?
As a matter of fact, it just so happened to turn out that way. I know he was working on FBI Most Wanted, and what had happened is that I end up finishing the film up in Seattle for Due Justice, and that my last day, I actually get a phone call from my agent saying, "Well, they want you to do this TV show called FBI Most Wanted," and I'm like, "What? What is this?" And it turns out that Callan Lutz was on that show, so it just so happens to fall in between. So, and I had to, in that case, I had to play a really dark character, which was interesting enough because in Due Justice, I play Detective Santiago. So my job is to study criminals and study criminal behavior. So to jump from one spectrum into another, I had an understanding. The idea for the actor is the allowance to be able to open yourself up into these worlds and into these characters' lives to go through it. And when you're working with a really good director, it sort of make things easier. I mean, it just so the fact that I was a part of that, I went, yeah, I can do this.
In Due Justice, you play this kind of tough, hard boiled, detective character, but you've also got there's a sense of humor about you and your actions, and like you like Lutz has to play it straight because he's got like the insane tragedy in his life. But I feel
Yeah.
like you and Jeff Fahey get to you got to have some fun with it here and there. Is that something that you incorporated into your character, or was that always written that way?
Well, what's interesting about this film itself is that it has to do with identity, and at some point, similarly, like Lutz, he plays everything by the book. Unlike my character and Jeff Fahey's character, we have learned things by the book, and we have just broke things out of order because that's sometimes you got to go beyond the road tracks to really discover whatever direction you're going. So, and that's where everything goes awry because things don't pan out the way they are supposed to be. And mind you, Lutz is playing a character who's an ex-Marine, well trained, well skilled, and when he's tested on having to do the right thing, especially at the loss of what happens to his family, that's where my character begins to discover the darkness of what truly is in crime and solving cases.
Yeah, it really goes to some unique, interesting places. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen next. All right, and then what more can I ask for from a crime movie, right?
Yeah, and the comedy, it's like we are natural. I mean, there's life has its own humor, and sometimes I find that actors play drama for drama's sake, and it necessarily isn't that way. There's funny moments in life. I mean, when bad things happen, sometimes all you can do is just laugh about it, and move forward in life. So when you see a film like this, there's so much color to it, and that's more the reason why I decided to work on this film. because without giving anything away, you really care for the characters and what they're going through. So I really like this film myself.
I imagine that at this point, you have come to peace, come to terms with the fact that no matter what you do with your career, no matter what roles you take on, no matter how many awards and Oscars you may end up winning,
Yeah.
you're always going to be Pedro to a generation. Is that something that you've tried to shake, or do you welcome it and accept it into your heart?
It's a challenge if you play a character that's hated in a very popular film. In a film like Napoleon Dynamite, Pedro is loved and revered because it truly leads with hope. And I tried to see if I could find that and drop a little bit of that with every character I play, because it's the ambition and the drive and the search for some form of finding a higher self per se, or just solving some problem that stirs in your mind that you hope that you could come out of. So for me, the fact that I have played Pedro, and everywhere I go around the world, people really love the character, and they see me, they want to embrace me, like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm that guy too. I'm utterly grateful for that. I wouldn't have much of a career if it wasn't for Napoleon Dynamite. My job is to prove to the studios that I could play different worlds, and throughout the years, having to do auditions and screen tests and chemistry reads, and to really develop these characters in these worlds. It's like, I always ask myself, like, what new character am I going to play next? So and then go, all right, find like 2 weeks to rest at my house and go, who am I? Am I going crazy? And then go back into a new world.
Yeah, I imagine. I guess it's good to have that signature character be such a positive and uplifting one.
Yes.
Um, and I imagine it's great to for just selling yourself as a DJ and musician. I see you've got a guitar in the background.
I got to tell you, working as an actor, you're living in such a private world, and you try to keep things to yourself. And at some point, you're so much in your head. Once I'm done with the project, I like doing things that are outside, whether it's mountain biking or spelunking or DJing, and that's a whole other world, because now you're catering for the audience. It really is like stage, where the audience is gonna feel whatever, as they call it, the new generation, whatever the vibe is, right? Whether you're playing electro to hip hop, to trap music, to indie rock, to 80s. In between auditioning before Napoleon Dynamite, I used to DJ all over Los Angeles, and now I became a celebrity DJ. Now DJ around the world. So I think I'm DJing on Wednesday with DJ Irene. So it's gonna be pretty amazing. And for me, I love art. I love music. I love films. I love paintings. So I'm just driven by that. So, and that's what motivates me to pursue something further.
You've done so much work over so many movies, so many shows. Is there something in particular that you feel was overlooked? Maybe it kind of came and went and you were so proud of it, but it didn't get the attention it deserved. Something you want to shout out for the Screen Rant audience?
Screen Rant audience, I love you. I love you. I love you. Stay true to your heart. Stay true to your mind. And hopefully as an artist, I tell great stories. The 2030 hasn't arrived yet. So, between now and then, I'm hoping to really tell great stories as much as I can as the lead character.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. The movie's awesome. And whatever you do next, I hope to talk to you for that too. Thanks.
It's coming.